and whatever I see is smiling at me. Love is who I am. Hello there, beloved Ascension Pioneers, and welcome to this short video presentation with me today. I'm actually enjoying this beautiful weather we have right now, and I was just on my run, and all of a sudden, I have these questions that keep popping into my head because I'm writing a book on the grand design and the mission of volunteer souls and lots of concepts within the cosmic union we're all going through as the new pioneers of the new age, and those of us who are here as volunteering to seed the way forward. So I'm getting lots of these questions that pop into my mind most of the times when I'm out in nature, right? This is my source of receptivity from all life, because I'm a creation pillar and I get all of my inspiration and divine guidance coming through the Gaia resonant frequency. So today I want to talk about two things, but most of all, the question was, what is the Tantrika? And when I was asked this question, I'm like, okay, this is my path, so why am I getting this question now? And I thought, okay, it's for the book, because I have many of the things already in my book. And then Spirit said, no, it's also for the video. You notice I've talked about the Tantric path before many times, and I even have courses on that level. I have a mastery course, self-mastery course on owning our sacred sexuality and really creating from that core resonant frequency of our tantric self and our tantric union, and you can find that on my page under the self-mastery courses. But today I want to talk about solemnly what is a tantrika, because the moment I always get divine guidance like this, I get a question and an instant knowing following it right after, because my knowledge is not channeled, it's directly coming through my source awareness. It's just how I receive, and usually when I'm running I get most of that. So you probably, if you follow me for a while, you've seen so many of my videos are occurring in nature and during my runs, and thank God now these iPhones make it possible that we also have these cameras with us all the time. Most of the times when I go out, my phone is unplugged because I can't stand these frequencies. I'm just out with nature, so then I only plug into my camera and I can start recording like this, which is so beautiful. So okay, let's move on to the topic. So a tantrika, and how is this so important for us, is because the level that many beings are moving now into is that of sacred union. And I talk a lot about sacred union, divine union within the resonant frequency of our counter polarities being balanced as one resonant field. You can see that as the Merkaba alignment, the vertical horizontal meeting as one, but also the union of all levels. There's always a divine triad that is encompassing all life in creation, because everything is being created through the principle of divine trinity. That's how source creates. And this level for us on our human counterpart, we can experience it as mother, father, child, right? Even in our astrology, we have our sun sign, our moon sign, and our ascendant, which are three most important aspects that denote this: the inner self, the outer self, our personality, and that which is basically our shadow self. So feminine, masculine, divine masculine, the inner self, the source self is experienced through the sun. The moon reflects our divine feminine, the inner nature, and then our ascendant is our rising personality. It's what we experience as the experience of creation, how we experience creation as a divine child. So when this triad is experienced in a perfect completion, there's wholeness within. On bigger aspects, that triad will be perceived differently in grander scenarios, right? There's so much, and there's so much presented here, the sacred knowledge, and the more we tune into the solar logos, and that's my new mastery course, that level, that initiation is the empowerment through knowing these principles of creation. And that's my most important rite of passage, that I came here being incarnate on this planet to share this resonance, to share this knowledge. And it's not knowledge that is informational, it's just pure creation principles that are being decoded right now as so many people are ready to awaken. So the nature of that triad is experienced on all levels, just like the nature of divine union is experienced on many different levels. The more you progress and evolve in bigger aspects of your soul, the more you move into the oversoul complex and beyond, the more you will understand these principles as so sacred on more expanded levels that just your human self is right now experiencing that. So one of the aspects of this triad is that divine masculine, feminine, and the child, that merger. And it's so important to understand that as we're moving into the sacred union, that's the whole nature of that union. Many people talk about this as in twin flames coming together. There's just this truth that is beyond this, which is the twin soul polarity within us that merges, creates a sacred alchemy, which I call divine triangulation. And that triangulation is the ability to co-create anything with the pure raw potentialities of life that's streaming forth through the infinite spiritualized life force. I know lots of concepts here, but please bear with me, because the more you will expand, you will have this as an experience. The knowledge won't just be mental, it will be experienced, and you will feel, because you're actually going to be creating within that domain. So why am I talking about this? Or how does Tantrika apply here? It's because I am one. So let me explain this at the most simple terms. The Tantrika, and this is not sex related, although it ends with Tantrika, right? You might perceive its feminine origin, but it's not. The Tantrika is an androgynous force. It's a unified field where divine masculine and feminine are as one, but not just that. They're already perfectly triangulated, and they're creating this new source field that brings the potentiality to give life. And Tantrikas are life givers. Why? Because these are perfectly balanced souls within their divine feminine masculine and the creation birthed from it type of beings. So the Tantrikas are beings within pure soul alchemy who have created the divine union, who have unified, who are unified already. And why are we here is the mission of the Tantrika is most essential in being so beneficial in this development of the humans moving into this unified self, the unified human, the rainbow human, the new human, as I call it, the Homo Luminous. This will all be in my book. All of the knowledge, everything I've shared throughout the years in one compiled format. Takes a while, but it's coming. So the Tantrikas, why we're so important here at this time is how Spirit shows me, because a lot of times I keep asking, okay, why I'm here? What's my mission? I want to serve at my highest capacity, right? All of those who are here as devotees and volunteer souls and mission-oriented souls, we have that. It's just intrinsic to us. We always want to serve even better. I remember years back, someone told me that my basic question in Mayan astrology is, how can I improve my service? It's a constant in my life. So I continuously refine myself, my soul, in the physical aspect by asking those questions, which are very important. So the beneficial factor of the Tantrika is, like I said, it's non-gender. It's both polarities of the soul in one soul resonant being. While divine child is there already. That's why these beings, we are highly creative beings. And just yesterday I was creating some of the things that I'm currently finishing and coming into completion with, and I've been looking through all that I've created during just my movement here, just my transition into the Alps in this environment, which was, let's say, 3.5 years, a little more. And I'm looking at it, it's like, how did I create so much during this short time? And then I get it, like, of course, because I'm a Tantrika being and we have a high capacity to create. We're so potent with life force. We just always creating, we're always rebirthing. And that's why when you create the triad that comes with the perfection of the unified polarities of the masculine, divine, feminine self, both as one, you're able to give birth life forward. So only a soul that creates that within its own triangulation is then able to birth life forth with the co-creation with the divine. We're all co-creators, right, on each different level. But when you are unified and whole within your source self, because through source, remember, we were all created as an image and likeness of the great creator. When you are as your source self, when you on your soul level master and achieve that completion, that coming into wholeness with yourself, when you achieve the level of the Tantrika being, you can generate life forward. And that's why years ago when I was asking, but what is my signature? And what came forth was the giver of life. And I didn't understand it back then. A lot of the guidance I received purely from Spirit, I got it a while later because it needed to integrate through, you know, what I went through as an experience as well. It wasn't just a mental, okay, I'm this, I'm that, ooh, what do I do with it, right? It was very firm into, okay, how do I establish this? How do I create this in my own life? What do I do with it? How can I serve through that? This is the question that every Tantrika being constantly asks themselves, because they are servants of creation. They're not just servants to other people. They're servants to life. And life will always, as I've explained this before for all of you, we go where there's most potentiality in expression of that life force. So a lot of us came to Earth now because there's such an exponential potential for growth at this time. And my mission at large is to create so much, which I do. Some of it is just for me, most of it is to serve. And even when I'm not focused on service, I'm being of service. That's the thing. It's so intrinsic because it's a part of that divine union, if you know what I'm talking about. Most of you do. A lot of you don't, and that's okay. Because we get that once we are a part of that. And it's not something, oh, I want to be that too. I want to become this. You know, I notice so much now, these words come because there's so much knowledge presented to us now. Now, everyone wants to be this, be that, because people can read so much information is known to us. In the past, this wasn't like that. Much was hidden. And now with so much coming to the surface, at large, is very beneficial, but at some certain terms, it's also not, because people now are aware of these things as potentialities and as knowledge, but they're not there. They're not embodying, or perhaps that's not a part of their initiation, and it's not within their domain of the rites of passage at this time. What does rite of passage means? It means something you're ready to have on a soul level. It's your soul alignment. Let's say, I'm not an astrologer, but I love astrology. I like to add certain things I'm still learning about, but it's not most beneficial for my journey because the Tantrika is here to plant the seeds of divine union and help people with their own divine union, with their merge. And it's a triad kind of merge. It's spirit, soul, and body, mind, spirit, body. These triads are happening on so many levels, and that's so important. It's from the ethereal planes through those, you know, I call it like, no, let's put it like this: from the highest planes of celestial attunement through the ethereal planes where this is seated, and then into the moving into the physical planes. Bypassing all of that distorted, which is lots of astral intrusions, lots of that which is basically not coming from the purity of divine love. When you're able to create that completion, your precipitation of that divine light will be pure, just as I receive. And so many people ask me, how is your knowledge so pure? How do you receive in such purity? It's because it's within my rite of passage, because I have that triad built already. And that's why I can help people and serve within the assistance of that domain. I cannot help with something I haven't achieved and mastered myself on a soul level, right? So why are souls always in constant learning? Because they're always refining themselves in a certain level, bringing that to the library of their oversoul complex. So within that domain, they can then go out, spread the seeds, and assist the whole, because they are a part of the whole. So a Tantrika being is a being that is fully aligned and expressing their divine feminine, masculine, and the divine child. I'm not so much an astrologer, like I say, I'm not at all, but I love astrology. It's not my rite of passage, but I love to learn about it as my human expression of my individuality here and my personality. So even in my astrology, I've been looking and learning a lot. I have this very fine-tuned balance and even a triangle in my chart, so it's very beautiful. The Tantrika is someone who mastered their tantric levels so they can be in perfect balance, so they can assist others within their divine merge and union as well. I've been looking at a lot of how I express this is through sacred devotional dancing. You can find my dancing. It helps to stimulate and activate this within you. That's why I recorded these sacred dances. They're each for different attunement. You can find it, and the link is shared always down below. These sacred devotional dances are meant as activation points. They're not just to share how I dance. You know, it's okay if you want it like that, but it's not about that. I've been looking at sometimes how I dance, because when I dance, I'm in the moment, I don't see it. But then I looked at it and I was like, I look like a man and a woman at the same time. Some of my moves are very feminine, some are more masculine. You know, I was always asking myself why some women dance in such a feminine way, and I don't dance just as a feminine way. I can be very masculine the way I dance too. And again, Spirit gave me that revelation that it's because my energies are merged. I'm not all about this divine feminine movement which is now occurring, and it's a beautiful movement, but it's not our whole equation. The divine thread is divine feminine, divine masculine, and the divine child creation, which is what I call the new human. The new enlightened human embody in physical form, and that's my purpose. I'm never going to be committed to anything else as much as this, because this is my rite of passage, and that's why I'm here. So what is Tantrika is how I receive it, how I see it, how Spirit shows me. Usually I'm shown through these complex codes of information that when they start pouring through and when they're integrated, they become simple understanding. And that's how you know it's pure, because it's simple, it's not complex. It doesn't have to be a book made out of 1,000 pages. You have to learn in order for you to get something. It's not like that at all. The tantric path is very simple, and a lot of people are getting through that path through tantric sexuality. It's very important to practice that, to enlighten your sexuality, how you first establish it within you and then exchange it with another person, a being who is also dedicated, devoted to that tantric path and that union through another, because through another you get to have more mirrors. You're going to see through tantric alchemy so much with that pushes through that light that is generated, so much of that density and all that is false and all the illusions and the shadow aspects come out. And sometimes that's scary, but it's a very fine art of practicing, of moving towards the path of the tantric union. I remember, years ago, the same person who told me that Mayan chart data told me that I have a path of tantric union as well. But I feel as I am unified, and yet my human self needs to experience it so I can share it, so I can be of service to the group at large. Also, one more thing I have to share here. It sounds very, wow, it's so good, right? It's so simple, it's so easy. No, because what Spirit showed me is there is a challenge, as always, there's challenges here on this planet. And the challenge is because of this intense union, there's this triangulation already achieved within you. You're very intense. Like I said, I have so much force to create, and sometimes when I start creating something or working on a project or something like that, my energy level gets so intense I can burn myself out. Sometimes I know I don't go into the project because I know that when I'm gonna go into it, I'm gonna be fully immersed in it, so much so that at times I won't be able to stop. I can so deeply fall into it. So sometimes this intensity can outburn you if you're not yet on a human level learning that balance to hold your tantrika. So the tantrika is an inner being level. It's a state of being, it's a state of consciousness, and it's pure. But on our human level, our human self is how we're experiencing that, has to go through challenging ways to know how to integrate it. So you're always in balance. For me, to be in balance is a constant learning lesson. It's a constant trial and error. And it's not easy, but once a tantrika on the human plane achieves that, they become very powerful. They're very powerful because they've learned to harness their energy, work with their inner life force, sustenance, and therefore not give their power away or become too overburdened by it themselves. And they mastered their inner maintenance levels by also knowing how to work with energy and not being too stigmated and put through these imprints of other people, receive this imprint. So your energy is always impure. What I'm going to be doing next in the much near future to come, I will help people with this. I will help people to achieve these levels. I don't know yet how. I guess much of it is through what I share, and much of it personally as well, and through my retreats. This is my devotion. It's my main passion in life, is this cultivation of our life force and this balance of the Tantrika being within. So a most challenging aspect of the Tantrika is their energy can get too intense, too overly stimulated if not learned to properly channel it, properly balance it. So for me, if I move too much into the knowledge and trying to understand things, which is not basically my main domain because I receive most of my things directly, also because my galactic center, which is the 26 to 27 degrees of Sagittarius, which is where our galactic core is now, in alignment is how we perceive it through our Earth window of viewing astrology. This alignment, for me, it's in Neptune in 12th house, which is all of this, you see. So it's direct transmission of this spiritualization, this higher consciousness, and then moving into what I share. So it's so much because the 12th house is so potent with everything. It's light, dark. It's all the spiritual essence behind life, and you reflect the world and your spirituality that way. So for me, it's quite intense. And you can learn more about your own galactic signature through the course that I developed, which is the Galactic Signature course, which helps you to understand your own path, to understand your own rites of passage, to understand why you are the way you are. Because a lot of people now, it's very trendy to be this way, or to be a guide, or to be this and that. You have to find your own signature. You have to find your own pathway, because that pathway already is you. We're not in need to be more authentic. We have to realize that we are already authentic within. We just need to allow ourselves to express that. It's allowance to be what we already are. to be the essence of our core alignment. There's a lot of information on what's the core self on my webpage set up in a light already, but if you want to tune into more, I'm preparing, which is going to come out in March, in the beginning of March, a solar consciousness, a solar blueprint, solar logos course. Mastery course meets the cosmic spheres of cosmic harmonic mergence. Okay, that's a new word. Merging. It's like I wanted to say three things at once, right? Like I said, divine trinity. I wanted to say harmonic, convergence, and merging. It was all coming in mergence. Okay, we have a new word here. That's fine. Try it. So in a way that showed me, right, this is it was a mistake, but it wasn't, because it showed me that the tantrikas, we take different aspects of light, we merge them, and we rebirth something new from it. And today I received new oracle cards. I highly recommend them to all of you who are light beings, who are here to support the planetary being of Gaia. When I say Gaia, it's the frequency. When I say Earth, it's planet, it's terrestrial, it's the physical body. But Gaia is a being, just like my personality. My name is Polona, but my being is Aurea. It's my soul name, it's my soul domain. So that's the difference, you see. So those of you, I really highly advise you to get these cards. They're called Sacred Geometry of Light, I think, activation cards. Beautiful, beautiful geometric patterns of light, totally fifth dimensional and beyond. Beautiful work of light. The moment I got them, I'm like, I love them. I don't have this with all the cards. Some of them is like, okay, and then I put them away. But some of them are so influential on our journey. And the first thing I always ask, right? Like always, it's not like, oh, what's my love life? The Tantric always ask, well, what's more about my purpose, you know? And I received that my main purpose is to be with Gaia, the Gaia crystalline frequency, and how I do that, how I serve, is through that merging of the mind and heart complex, creating the third energy. I got the triangle, the synergy, and taking many patterns of light, creating something new for the whole new frequency on the planet. And I think the last message was the bringer of that harmonic essence. So new humans, new life, new expanded consciousness, new connections, everything just new. And that was so much in alignment with what I do. I saw the cards, I'm like, there it is, that's me. And it was really good. So I advise you, really highly advise you. You can see more on Instagram. I shared some of the images from the cards. If you want to tune into more, after I complete these projects I have, I will share more on what I will share more on. Yeah, more readings. I like to do these daily messages. I only put them on pause when I have other things to do, but they're in continuous motion when I have more time, when I'm in flow, and I love to transcribe these messages. But most of all, I am an oracle in many terms, right? This is direct spirit transmission and what I receive, reflecting the whole, my group, what I share. But I feel my pathway is going to lead me more and more into this tantric union path. This is more authentic to my core essence. It's that tantric. I remember when I first got these, they're called Sacred Dakinis oracles. I mean, these cards are amazing too. I don't use them, maybe once a year, but they're really amazing. When I started the Galactic signature readings back then, I think 2 years ago perhaps, I did one for myself. It was the 12-folded journey, you know, with the 13 in the middle, which is what I call the 13th octave. I also shared this and how you can do this for yourself in the Galactic Signature course, so get that if you're really into that, if you feel a calling. And I remember, yeah, the core was the Tantrika. That was the word. And I remember seeing it and I just cried. I'm like, haha, what is this? Oh, I didn't know. And it's like, it started, you know, we get like these tiny little nudges moving us more and more into our authentic core alignment. And as volunteer souls, those of you who are here with that specific mission and calling, you will be more and more pushed towards that which is authentic. So when you watch things falling away from your life, don't bother too much about it, because they're not meant to sustain you. They're meant to activate you, and then you move on to the next level, and the next, and the next, and the next. That's how we are. And for me, the biggest journey is to be free, to be fully free of all the entanglements of what we perceive as the human matrix, so that I can really know in each moment what I'm meant to share. Okay, this goes here, this goes there, and I'm taking these bits and pieces, and I can make something of a holistic essence through them. So that's that merger, that's that triangulation, is you always know which element you're working with in each moment. And when you feel an overburning sensation over an overdoing of a certain element, just just find the life force cultivation, call on the life force to purify you again, to balance it out. Because the moment you work with the spiritualized life force, that's that spirit, the white light, just it doesn't have to be words around it. You know, we get too technical in our terms, we get too knowledge based, but just calling on all life, the presence of life. You know, when you think of life, what do you feel? For me, when I think of life, I feel of constant potency. I feel like constant aliveness, that mana, that divinity, divine love that's always regenerating and rebirthing new things in creation. For me, life is creation. So when I think of that, that's what I'm invoking. You feel the essence of it. You don't have to know words. You know, a lot of people are like, but I don't know too much these esoteric things. You don't have to. That's the Piscean, you know, era. We're moving into this Aquarian nature when you receive through your own source, when you're free and liberated in the way you receive, the way you transmit, and that's it. So for me, I feel this greater calling to the Tantric path, the merger I'm helping people with. I don't know yet. I'm probably gonna, when I complete these piles of projects I have right now, receive direct transmissions what to do next, and I think so will you. This is a potent time. I hope you have a beautiful activation time. We've just now entered into this new moon phase. It's amazing. It's so much coming through. However, and whatever you're receiving, follow up with that, follow through, and you know that it has to come through you first. So enjoy your source connection, your source attunement. It's always there. You've always been authentic. You always are authentic. Just allow yourself to be that, without those human stigmas that we think, you know, we're supposed to play a role in our lives, but not really. So stay true to you. I love you all so very much, with love, wisdom, power, through great awareness and consciousness. Stay updated, because the new update is coming forth for the month of March. And I'm gonna update you there on the new course and other things that came out. Working very hard behind the scenes for all of that to occur, and you can support my work of service and the transmissions I share through the purity of my spirit with all of you, with all of us, by either becoming my Patreon on my sponsorship page or donating directly through my Serapina Light webpage. The links are down below, or you can buy pieces of my art, you know, because I've just published on the new moon my new art blog. So take a look at that. I love you so very much. There's so much coming through, and that's it for today. I'll see you soon with the next transmission and divine timing. So I was just thinking about how for Tantrikas, the sacred union is an alchemical marriage, not just a marriage with someone. And then I see this black cat, which is the Merlin. He's a little frail little kitty. Probably gonna run away when I approach it. Yeah. Poor kitty. It's not one to be in the YouTube video. Oh my god, a black cat crossed my path. Does that mean I'm no longer Tantrika? Just messing with you guys. Hey kitty, where you go? Oh, you're so pretty. You're so pretty. Look at the kitty. Oh my. Anyway, yes. I was just thinking, and I saw the cat across the bridge, and I said a cat must be in the video. She was, or he was, for a while. A very short while. But I want to say that yes, it's an alchemical marriage. It's not just a marriage with a physical person. It's so much more, and that's really, really important. Bye, kitty. I can still see you, by the way. You're still on the video. So cute. You see? It's like this cat is a hermit like me. It knows how to find its spot in peaceful nature, and now I'm trying to find it, disturbing its peace. So that teaches me a lesson, not to interfere. Anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for watching. So I'm just sharing this beautiful view as well above the river stream here in the Alps. And I want to remind you again that one of the beautiful courses that I offer to help you with this union as well, in the physical and through all the relationships you're moving through as a part of that sacred alchemical journey, is a Cosmic Beloved course. I really love that course, and I think it has a lot to offer in terms of understanding that path, the journey within the union. It's not just a vertical one, it's also a horizontal one, so it helps you to activate that. So if you're interested, I always remind you, consider taking that course if there's a soul attunement coming from you, if there's a calling, and you will see if that is so. magical.